Move out of the way.
When there's a vehicle coming, or move out the way of the vehicle?
Vehicle coming.
Yeah, it goes up left-hand side, doesn't it?
Move out of the way now. I told you where the boundary is.
Come on, then.
Don't act like...
In this episode, Auditor Proletariat takes on one of his boldest audits yet, right outside Peterborough Police Station. What begins as calm, lawful filming quickly spirals into chaos when two sergeants storm out, trying to intimidate and remove him from the area, despite there being no clear signage showing it's private. But Proletariat doesn't flinch. Calm, confident, and legally sharp, he stands his ground as more officers arrive. What follows is a masterclass in knowing your rights, and a brutal exposure of bad policing.
We don't mind you filming, but you need to be off.
Who are you guys? Sergeant.
Come on.
Okay.
Then walk then.
There was no need to get physical. I'm walking away. You can stop touching me now, because I'm walking away. You can stop touching me now. Sergeant 1096.
That's me.
I am walking away, and you're still touching me.
You're not walking away, though.
I am. Am I not walking? Am I not walking away?
Turn and face that way.
You're a fucking dickhead, mate. That's what you are. F off. Tell me not to swear. I can swear over you if I want to. There's no need to push me like that.
We've told you where the boundary is.
Yeah?
Get out.
And I'm walking back. Why the f are you pushing me like that for? You absolute bellend.
Because of your attitude.
You're a bellend.
Over there.
You're a bellend.
Get off the ramp.
Move over there, please.
You're a bellend.
For emergency vehicles, get off the ramp.
There's no yellow box here saying I can't block it. You're a bellend.
Move out the way.
I'm quite capable of moving out the way of vehicles by myself.
Move out the way.
When there's a vehicle coming, or move out the way of the vehicle.
Vehicle coming. Move.
Yeah, it goes up left-hand side, doesn't it?
Move out the way now.
I told you where the boundary is.
Come on, then.
Don't act like a knob.
You're the one pushing me.
Yes.
I know I'm on the pavement, and I'm on here now, and you still pushed me. You still pushed me.
Right. Don't come on.
You're a bellend.
Okay.
Before even identifying himself, the sergeant lays hands on Proletariat, pushing him back like a criminal, completely ignoring the police code of ethics, which requires communication and restraint before any use of force. When Proletariat calmly says he's walking away, that should have been the end of it, but instead, the sergeant keeps shoving him, crossing both a legal and professional line. And when Proletariat, clearly shocked, swears out of frustration, the sergeant fires back with, "Don't act like a knob." A sergeant, the rank meant to set the standard, just sank below it. His duty was to de-escalate, identify himself and act with respect. Instead, he showed the public exactly what abuse of authority looks like. A man using his badge as a license to bully.
Who's your inspector? What's your collar number there?
1096.
Yours?
95,
1995. I'm trying to read your collar number. You're a bellend, both you. Sergeant's my ass. You wait till your inspector gets hold of this. Dickhead. Is there an inspector on duty at the station today?
There'll be many inspectors inside.
Yeah. Well, I've just what I believe to be assaulted by two sergeants. So if you can get an inspector out, I'd love to report that to them. I'm happy to show them the footage. There was nothing saying that it's private property, no unauthorised access or anything like that.
Of course,
you know.
Of course. Do you want? I'll talk plainly.
Yeah.
I won't muck
cool.
around. Okay. There are different people who audit and things like that.
Sure.
Sometimes people try and push buttons like that, so I'll just speak plainly.
Yeah, that's cool. No worries.
I get there's nothing there. Yeah, we've just got a simple barrier. There's no fence in there. I do appreciate that. And let you know at the moment now, this is private property. I'm sure you can appreciate we do have to keep areas secure, and secure as can be. Not very secure without a fence there, but that's
well, exactly. I mean, there's a big old footpath coming up from the grass verge there.
In fairness, I'd say you probably do know this is private property because it is a police station. Okay?
I mean, everything in the UK is private property, though, really, isn't it?
That plainclothes officer's logic is legally meaningless. Just because something looks like police property doesn't automatically make it private land. If there's no barrier, no fence, and no signage stating restricted access, then under law, it's publicly accessible space. The public has an implied right of access until that right is clearly revoked. And simply being outside a police station doesn't erase that. His claim of, it's private because it's a police station, shows how little he understands about public accountability. Police property isn't a fortress. It's funded by taxpayers and meant for public interaction at designated areas. Without visible signs or physical barriers, Proletariat was fully within his rights to stand there and film.
I'm not a civil lawyer and all that, so I'm not going to get that. I can't really have you around here, if don't mind, okay? It's nothing because there's not hiding anything, but ultimately it's a working yard. There are vehicles that will fly out here, responding to immediate.
Sure. As soon as I hear blue light sirens, I'll be out of the way.
Yeah,
no,
I can't have you here anyway because it is a secure area.
In the meantime, I'm waiting at the moment. I'm going to get every single vehicle, private, personal, whatever it is, coming in and out. It's going to be included on my footage.
But then if you could do that, could you do that from outside the private property?
I mean, to be fair, the sergeants actually said I was fine there. That's where they physically pushed me to. And even when I was on there, they continued to push me.
If you come, I'll show you. As far as I know, and again...
So the sergeants actually said that this sign here was the demarcation of the property, which clearly it's not, because it just says pedestrians use front entrance, that's exit.
Yeah, no, that'll obviously be for notifying people who want to come speak to us where to go. Yeah,
exactly. Right? So there's no demarcation. That's not demarcation of your boundary.
What I was going to say is normally I use the tree line. Okay, there is no physical line. There is no it's that imaginary line. There is going to be a line somewhere which denotes the property boundary. If the sergeant has said it here, I'm not going to argue. I'd naturally say I think the tree line forms a kind of a natural barrier.
Now, looking at the sign completely exposes how wrong the sergeant was from the start. It doesn't say no public access or restricted area. It simply directs pedestrians to use the front entrance. That's guidance, not law. The sergeant treated it like a no-entry order, when in reality there's nothing on that sign that removes the public's right to be there. This proves proletariat was standing in a publicly accessible space, and the sergeant had no lawful authority to lay hands on him or force him back. If the police want an area to be genuinely off-limits, the signage must make that clear, and it must be backed by legislation or a bylaw, not personal interpretation.
But then, fine,
really.
If the sergeant says that, I'm not going to argue.
But then the sergeant also saw me stood there on the very corner of the thing and said nothing either about me being there. He was literally watching me from the window for a good 5 minutes.
Do you know the sergeant's name?
1096 and 1995 were their collar numbers.
Were they a response sergeant?
They came out of that building up there, whatever it is up there.
If you don't mind, if you just stay here with my colleague, I'm going to go and speak to the sergeant up there and make sure that that's correct, that he's told me where to, he's told you to stand. Yeah. Because, like I say, I normally use the tree line because it kind of makes a natural barrier. Do you know what I mean?
I do. I understand that it does create a sort of natural barrier, but unless you have these to show me where the boundary is, and there's nothing to stop me accessing, there's nothing to say where your property starts and where it ends. No, so there's nowhere for you to realistically say, this is our property. You can't be stand here. You can only stand here.
But let's try and work together and be reasonable. Because
at the end of the day, you are being reasonable, and I do appreciate that. But because of the behaviour of your sergeant, I'm not going to be reasonable with you.
That tree line as a barrier comment perfectly sums up the delusion at play here. Imaginary boundaries enforced with real authority. The plainclothes officer is literally inventing a rule on the spot, trying to turn landscaping into law. Features like trees or curbs mean nothing legally unless they're backed by clear signage, fencing, or physical demarcation that signals private land. Without that, the public's implied right of access still applies. If you can't physically identify the limit of your property, you have no authority to claim someone's trespassing on it. It's that simple. This exchange exposed the stark difference between knowledge and guesswork. Proletariat relied on facts, while the officer relied on a tree line, and it's honestly embarrassing.
And I'm not saying I'm going to be rude to you, but in terms of negotiating where I can and cannot stand, I'm not going to negotiate that with you based on their behaviour.
I understand
not
that.
on yours, and I want you to understand that.
So I'm upfront and clear with you, just so I am fair with you, okay? I'm going to go and clarify that, all right? And if they've said, wherever, I will have to enforce a level of, like, if we say this is where the barrier is, I'll have to ask you to stand on the other side of that.
Okay, and if you force me to move physically to a place, I will check where your boundary is with the local council, and if you have moved me to a place that you have no right to move me physically, you will be liable for reprimand under that. I will be filing. They're already getting complaints of it, IOPC. And until you're 100% sure where your boundary is, regardless of what your sergeant says, because unless they can prove where your boundary is, you can't move somebody physically.
And
you can't.
I'm trying to be reasonable, okay? So they might know.
Just let my colleague double check, and we'll come back.
I totally get your point, all right? And that's why I'm going to go and do everything I can and try and check with them, okay? I get what you're saying there, and like I say, all I'm asking is to try and be reasonable, meet each other.
And again, I'm saying it's not because of you, because you have been reasonable, but because of them, I'm not negotiating.
Just bear with me, all right? Okay.
I don't negotiate with assholes.
The plainclothes officer openly admits he doesn't even know where the property line is. yet he's already decided he'll push proletariat back once his sergeant gives the word. That's not policing. That's improvisation with authority. You can't enforce a boundary that hasn't been legally defined. If they genuinely believed the land was private, the limits would already be mapped, signed, and documented. Proletariat's response was spot on. It's not about opinion, it's about proof. Property boundaries and public access points are established by the council, not by an officer's assumption. Without a legal map, posted notice, or formal restriction order, the area remains public, full stop.
So yeah, the sergeant has said that he's told you, and he is saying like, sort of grass verge, not onto the road please, and no further past this blue sign. Is that okay?
Maybe.
Okay, on that then, right, I hear you saying maybe. At the moment, I'll leave you here, alright? Please don't do that, alright? Got no problem with you filming public, saying that's public, okay? Got to understand that's a working yard. There's also sensitive information. There's people here, whether victims or suspects, that we can't have you going and seeing. Normal as a member of the public, that is private, okay? Please stay here, okay. Alright?
I mean, again, for you to raise with your higher-ups, I would strongly suggest you get a more physical barrier, fencing.
I 100% agree, but then the police, what are they keeping out? They're putting fences up, and that's at the lovely taxpayers' expense.
No, I agree with fences being around these places.
But that's the truth of it. No, to be fair, I think it should, because then it denotes it, alright? But I'm now telling you, mate, so that's pretty clear. The sergeants also echoed that, so you know, yeah? So you're saying maybe, but then if you then go past that maybe, that's you willfully then
trespassing.
I get that you've had like issues with them, okay? But then that's for your complaint, mate.
Exactly. This is the heart of the issue. If the police genuinely want to restrict access, the lawful solution is simple. Install a clear physical barrier or signage. That's how every other organization establishes private land boundaries, clearly, visibly, and legally. The fact that the officer even agrees with proletariat at first proves he knows this. But then he tries to excuse the lack of transparency with, then people will say, what are the police keeping out? That's not a justification. It's a deflection born out of image management, not law. What this really exposes is an uncomfortable truth. They want the control of private ownership without the accountability that comes with it. By keeping the space ambiguous, they can pick and choose when to call it public or private, depending on who's standing there. It's not about safety or security. It's about convenience of power.
Do me a favour, yeah? Because we were going off to do something again.
Yeah. As I was saying to your colleague,
stop and engage in challenges.
But as I was saying to your colleague, you're actually other than the sergeants, because I went to where those vehicles are over there. You're actually the first people that have actually stopped and engaged with me, and I've been stood here nearly an hour.
Then that's bad officers, because they should, okay? But look, we're busy, we're human, we make mistakes, okay? Just like everyone else. Please don't do that. But
that's why I say, like I said, a surgeon accidentally killing somebody, say, people make mistakes, we're human. There's that room for error
but
is not...
This is a conversation about someone standing on a road or a grass barrier, not me doing heart surgery. Okay?
Yeah, but the room for error isn't there in the police.
We should make errors and we should learn from our mistakes.
Yeah.
As should everyone, okay? But that's just the way it is. Please don't willfully do that. If they do, then they might have to look at anything.
There's nothing they can get me. It's a civil issue, isn't it?
Because okay, well, number one, okay, I'll just say this. Wasting police time. So
I'm not wasting this. I'm not forcing you to stop.
Hang on. Let me just say it, and then I'm going to go. All right.
Perfectly put, that accusation of wasting police time completely collapses under legal scrutiny. The law, Section 5(2) of the Criminal Law Act 1967, is very specific. It criminalizes knowingly making a false report or misleading police into taking unnecessary action. Proletariat did none of that. He didn't call them, didn't fabricate an incident, and didn't interfere with their duties. He was simply filming, a lawful act in a public space. By contrast, the officers chose to engage. They weren't responding to a crime. They were responding to their own discomfort. So if anyone wasted police time, it was the police themselves, misusing resources to confront lawful activity. This moment exposes a deeper problem when officers misuse criminal terminology as intimidation tactics. It's not just inaccurate. It's a sign of weak justification and poor understanding of the law. Authority isn't about bluster. It's about knowing the boundaries of your own power.
This is for your benefit, because I don't want to see you get arrested, and I think it probably even that then further would be a waste of our time, but we will have to take an action, all right, by doing something that causes an officer to then kind of go out of the way and waste their time doing it, and would have to engage with you and say, mate, don't stand here and have another 5, 10 minute, 15 conversation with you. That's them wasting our time, okay? So there it is, it's ticking those boxes. I don't think it would come to that, but it's just something we might have to do. Please just be reasonable, film the cars, whatever, alright? Just stay where you are, yeah? Please?
Maybe.
I'll leave it at that. Dude, just don't. Just be sensible.
Maybe. Can't stop with them making. Not saying.
Why?
Because I don't give it out.
Why? I'm the public. I want to watch it.
You'll find it.
I want to like and subscribe.
You'll find it.
I won't try that on.
As the officers finally retreated to their vehicles, the scene spoke for itself. Proletariat stood exactly where he began, calm, composed, and unshaken. What started as an attempt to remove a man with a camera ended with an undeniable truth. They never had the authority they thought they did. This encounter perfectly captures what happens when unchecked authority collides with calm, informed resistance. From the very first moment, those sergeants came out swinging, not with reason or professionalism, but with pure force. They didn't stop to assess, identify themselves, or de-escalate. Yet despite being shoved, talked down to, and insulted, proletariat stayed composed, exposing their lack of control for everyone to see. The turning point came when he started asking for proof. Where's the boundary? Where's the law? Where's your authority? Suddenly their confidence melted away. The plainclothes officer stumbled for explanations, the sergeants vanished, and the entire "we know best" act fell apart. That's the beauty of lawful resistance. It doesn't take shouting or aggression, just knowledge and composure. By the end, proletariat hadn't just stood his ground. He dismantled their entire approach to public accountability. The officers walked away embarrassed, their authority undone by their own ignorance. It was a quiet victory, but a powerful one. A reminder that the strongest stance you can take is knowing your rights better than those who try to take them from you.